Reflect on a time where you were in a really tough situation with your relationship and it was just draining, zapping your soul, and you would just like you felt like a zombie. I think about that time, right? You're not at your best. You're losing wealth at that time because all your great ideas, none of them are going to get implemented. The great connections that you could have made or that you did make that you need to follow up on, you're not doing that anymore. All the hard work required for you to be successful, you're not putting that out because you've been, you've sort of been depleted. You're emotionally depleted, right? And so effectively having the right partner can do the opposite. It can actually fill you up and get you going and motivate you and get you to higher heights. But the wrong situation can just drain you and destroy you and take away years of your life that you'll never get back. And there's lost wealth in that. There's not just lost wealth, but there's like lost dreams and just all the possibilities of all the things you could have done. So this is one of the reasons why you should look at relationship repair and maintenance as an investment. If I invest in making sure that I get along with this woman at least well enough that it doesn't deplete me and destroy me, and then I'm winning. Think about this. Imagine if I was spending so much time fighting with my wife that I was so depressed that I couldn't even get up and talk to you every day. I couldn't teach anything. I couldn't write any books. I couldn't give any speeches. Think about what all the things I'd lose. I'd have to fire everybody that works for me, right? I just all these economic consequences that would come from the fact that I can't produce anymore. I'm an unproductive asset. The asset called Boyce Watkins becomes less valuable and less productive because he's dealing with these internal issues that haven't been resolved. So when I tell you with complete seriousness that your mental health and your relationship health is a financial investment, it really is. There's really no asset in your life that's more important than the asset of you. And the asset of, and then after that, beyond that, you got your family, you got your kids, you got your partners, right? And these are also assets that should be invested in. So there's lost productivity. Last part is child support enforcement. The government spends about $5 billion a year on child support enforcement, and they probably collect billions more in child support. Child support is the quickest way for a black man to go broke that I've ever seen in my life. If you can't handle your situation, the government steps in like your daddy and takes over. And when daddy government steps in and takes over your situation, they do not, they're going to take everything you have. They're going to take your money. They're going to take your happiness. You'll invest, you'll spend all this money and you won't even get the benefits from it. You don't get to decide what is being done with this money. You don't get to have children that really love you and adore you and admire you because of all your sacrifice. Because they may not know that. They may not know that daddy, how hard daddy had to work to pay the child support. They may not care, right? And so effectively, I think overall that a smart person who wants to build wealth is going to rethink their whole approach to family. I'm not saying that it means people should have kids or not have kids, or that they should get married or not get married. I would say whatever pathway you choose, you really want to optimize that path. You pick that path and you optimize it, whatever that means, right? So that means if I choose to get married and I choose to have kids, then everything I acquire is an asset. When I acquire an asset must be managed to get maximum productivity from it. It like just like if I buy a business, if I buy a business and I don't work on the business, then the business is not going to make money. That's a bad acquisition. So if I acquire a wife and I do not work on that relationship with that woman, then that is a business I've acquired that I've actually neglected. Anything you neglect is going to fail. Anything you don't invest in is going to struggle. Your community is neglected. Your community doesn't receive investment from white people, black people, or anybody else. So your community is failing in certain areas because of that. So I would pick my spots, pick your assets. Okay, those kids, that's an asset.